Welcome everybody. Today we will learn one of the simplest unsupervised machine learning algorithm, K-means clustering. Clustering is the grouping of a set of data into subsets called clusters, so that data in the same cluster are similar in some sense. Depending on the learning procedure by which clustering takes place, it is classified into two types. They are supervised clustering and unsupervised clustering. If clustering is done by supervised learning procedure, it is known as supervised clustering. It is like a student learning from a teacher. Let us recall supervised learning learns a mapping from input data to desired output using labeled input. The trained model makes predictions or classifies new unseen data. In the example shown, apples and bananas are presented to the learning model with labels apple and banana. In future, if apple is presented to the model, it classifies it as apple. If clustering is done by unsupervised learning procedure, it is known as unsupervised clustering. It is like students learning by themselves without the help of teachers. Unsupervised learning groups a given collection of unlabeled data into meaningful clusters. It discovers hidden patterns, structures, and relationships within the data, so that data within a cluster are more similar to each other and data belonging to different clusters are as dissimilar as possible. Let us see the example. Apples, oranges, and bananas are presented to the learning model without labels. The unsupervised learning model automatically clusters apples to one group, oranges to another, and bananas to one more. K-means clustering is a type of unsupervised clustering algorithm. It is mainly used for data segmentation. K-means clustering identifies natural grouping or clusters within a dataset. It partitions data into K clusters, where each data point belongs to the cluster whose mean is closest to the specific data point. Distance measures are used to determine the proximity. We will see the steps involved in K-means algorithm. Initially, we have to set the value of number of clusters. As K-means algorithm is an unsupervised learning algorithm, it is presented with the unlabeled data. Next, K centroids are randomly chosen for each cluster. The distance between each data point and all the centroids are calculated. Data point is assigned to the cluster whose centroid distance is the least. Once all the data points are assigned to a cluster, new centroid is calculated. New centroid is the mean of all the data points assigned to that particular cluster. Assignment of data points to cluster of nearest centroid and new centroid calculation continues iteratively till the convergence. Let us assume 6 data points are to be grouped into 2 clusters. The random assignment of centroids are shown here. Red color shows the centroid of cluster 1 and yellow is that of cluster 2. As we see, 4 data points are nearer to cluster 2 and 2 data points are nearer to cluster 1. Depending on the proximity of the data points to the cluster center, they are assigned to that particular cluster. 2 data points are assigned to cluster 1 and 4 data points are assigned to cluster 2. The means of the data points assigned to each cluster are the new cluster centers. The cluster centers shift to the center of the data points. Depending on the proximity to the cluster center, again the data points are assigned to that particular cluster. This process continues till no change in centroid value or maximum number of iteration is reached. The advantages and disadvantages of K-means algorithm are enlisted here. It is simple and easy to implement. It converges quickly. If the data set is large, it functions well. The limitations of K-means algorithm are the following. It is sensitive to initial centroid selection and it may converge to local optima. It assumes Clusters are spherical and equally sized. Some of the applications of k-means algorithm include image segmentation, customer segmentation, anomaly detection, document clustering, genetic clustering, spatial data analysis, recommendation systems, stock market analysis, speech and audio processing, and healthcare. That's all about k-means clustering algorithm. Thank you. Thank you for your patient listening.